there's a 4-lane toll road that goes all the way from Nogales, pretty much down to Alamos. It's like 1,000 miles, you know. And you gotta stop at these tolls, and every toll, they got a bathroom, right? Man, they were disgusting. They had like caca enchiladas and burrito blowouts all over the floor. Man, people don't even flush down there. They just walk in, you know. Once you're in the bathroom, you can just, unload your truck right there, Just let the dumpster, let it rip. So there was like all this stuff, and it smelled like a Mexican restaurant, but like, not a good restaurant. And I was not going to go in there in my shoes, and so I took them off, and I went in my socks, because you could always wash socks, but once you get like caca in the treads of your shoes, they're pretty much worthless. You can never get it out again. They'll be there for years. You'll still have little flecks of stuff falling out as you're walking on the floor. So I went in there. It was real squishy. It was not a pleasant experience, but I had to go. And when I got out, I took them off, put my boots on, barefoot, and I just threw the socks in the laundry bin. Now I'm going to take care of them. So I did the right thing. From then on, I just, stopped and did it, next to a cactus. You just got to watch out when you're squatting, not to impale yourself on those cactus things, because they're sharp. Man, I touched one. It's like, whoa, man, that's sharp. It's like So anyway, it was hot down there, and I was trucking along, and I was watching all these people in their cars just tossing their garbage out the windows, and when I was like, what? This must be some like culture thing, there must be some religious thing about this, that they're all just tossing everything out the window like sacrifices or something. And I would never do that in the United States of America. But I figured, I was going through these 3-ounce bottles, like one every 15 feet, and I'm like, well, I cannot let them build up in my truck. It would eventually obscure my vision. So I started tossing them out the window too, And I was like chugging, tossing, It's just like, I was getting like carpal. I was really feeling carpal. I was doing so many of those chugging, tossing things. And, I went through a few cases doing that. And then, and then I saw a sign for the Cooper Canyon. And the Cooper Canyon is like the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I'm like, did they take that too? I mean, how did they move the Baseball Hall of Fame down here in the middle of nowhere in Mexico? What do they think? Americans are going to come all the way? No, that's the stupidest thing. This outsourcing is going out of control. When you outsource something to Mexico like that, the Baseball Hall of Fame is an American sport, American players. The tickets might be cheaper down there, but who's going to go? It's just dumb. Dumb. So I was, thinking about that. I was chugging and tossing, thinking about how stupid that was. And then I hear this funny siren-like sound, and I look in the mirror, and it's like, little Mexican police car, is pulling me over, right? And he stops, right? And he's kept saying, calling out some stuff I didn't know. I'm like, I speak English, I'm yelling out the window, and he's screaming. And then he tells me to get down from the cab. What does he have in his hand but one of my bottles? And he's saying some stuff in Spanish. I don't know, but I think it was all about like littering. And I think he wanted some payola, But I was not gonna. I said, everybody's doing it. Everybody, it's not just me. And I'm not gonna, I'm not paying nothing to you. And he's like, getting real angry. He kept calling me K too. And I'm like, what do I have? Like, Kmart, this truck is a GOD, guaranteed overnight delivery truck. This is not a Kmart thing or a Wally. So he kept calling me K. I just think that they call all Americans K just to make us angry. It got from bad to worse. Suddenly, this little Mexican tow truck pulls up and it wants to attach to the front of my chassis, and I'm like, no way. You're not gonna. You wouldn't be able to tow this rig. Look at that thing. It's like the size of a little, yogurt cup. And he was, they were all like, they're real emotional and getting all excited. And then he started, like reaching for his gun, and I'm like looking at him like, if it comes down to this, I'm taking you out first. I don't care if I got no heat on me. I'm gonna take you out first. I think I eventually gave him like $5, but then he got even more angry. That's the thing, it's like $5 wasn't enough. It's like, So another police car arrived, and then what they did was they made me turn around. They made me pull the rig, do a U-turn across the desert, and back up to Nogales. And I was escorted for about 45 minutes. I had my full load. I could not do nothing about this thing. And, I went all the way home with the full load. This is the first time that ever happened to me. And I'm like, I had no choice. These guys have guns. They don't speak my language. It was a disaster. I would not recommend anyone doing any trucking to Mexico or anywhere where it's just full of foreigners. And so that's pretty much it. I ended up going all the way back, and I called the dispatcher in Nogales, and I'm like, they sent me back. They wouldn't have nothing of me. So he's like, just bring it on home, and and we're gonna take it all out of your pay. I'm like, no, you ain't. And he said, what is this, like $345 for waters? And I'm like, I don't know. It must be a mistake, because I ain't paying for it. And I won't ever pay for that. Man, what a mistake. I say stay in the U.S. of A. That's all. God bless America. That's the end of my trip, and that's the end of this video. I'm going to go have some American Coors beer and watch some American NASCAR before they don't go and take that away from us too. I think I'm going to sleep out in the truck tonight because, I just miss it. I miss the cab. I miss that bed. Sometimes you sleep best in your cab, and pretty much my bed here at home, I don't use that much compared to that mattress in the cab. So what is home anyway? You know what I mean? Is home here or is in my truck? And I think it's pretty much my truck. Home is where the heart is. Where it's hard, it's home. And that, I have a hard truck. I have a Peterbilt chassis. You don't get more hard than that. This place is pretty flimsy. I could put my foot right through the wall. I have on various occasions. We won't go into that now, though. So, see you next time. Take care.